Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another class. Very interesting class. Yeah. So SQL. Yeah, that's where we stopped last class. I think we were trying to do some interesting stuff. So let me just begin to share my screen. Present now. And so let me know as soon as you can see my screen. Okay, I think I'll first of all share those parts, then maybe later on can go ahead to share my old screen. So yeah, so what we did last week, yeah, so we're trying to have our way with SQL. So we just installed, we moved from PGA to MySQL. And yeah, so I want to ask how many of us have successfully installed MySQL? Like successfully, you can just use the raise hand function. Okay, yeah, I can see one, I can see two successfully, two, three, Tito has, Ibami has, Chinwe has. Okay, I know about Kingsley. Um, who else? Adibayo, what's up?
I've been using Postgres for a long
Oh,
time, so I prefer using Postgres.
okay, that's cool. All right then. Okay, someone is trying to join. Yeah, so I think we have a good number of people that have installed Postgres, have installed the tool. So, like I said it earlier, doesn't matter which one. What matters is you now have the tools, and we are going to be able to follow up in the class as we proceed. So that's what matters the most. So, without any further, so what we did last week basically was we tried to work around, try to use the uh the tables we created. So we created a table, uh, then we inserted values to it. We also did uh we also used select to just probably view the data and just see a bit. So yeah, we explored some functions, right? You might not have known what these things were, probably the create table yes for basically. So we just had to work our way through the app and try to do some things. Then for the before we begin, I'm just going to go through like more of like a um call it a refresher, just to refresh ourselves on some terms. And we are going to be working with more with because SQL is filled with a lot of them. So first one is database. I think database is not is something we all know by now what database is. So you can tell us what a database is just real quick. You can type, you can unmute. Anybody? Okay, Olaya. Or was your hand raised up from before?
Yes, it was raised from before, not now.
Well, it doesn't matter. You can still help us. Yeah. Don't run away. Just what do you understand
I'm,
really
I'm,
by
I'm not running.
database?
I'm not running. I'm not running. I'm trying to gather again.
Okay.
Oh,
Or does anybody want to help
yeah.
him out? If you don't have,
Please let them help me.
it's like you don't have any friends here. Yeah.
Please, I didn't get the question. Please, can you say that again?
What's a database? Like a database, like what do you understand by database?
A set of data stored in an is it in an arranged manner, or should I say orderly manner?
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll buy that from you. So basically, data is it's set of data, a collection of data that is stored in an. It said you use the word array. It's stored in a table in an orderly manner. So when it is in a table, it is orderly, right? So there are other forms for. So the point there is it is a set of data. It has to be called a set, a data that makes up a database, basically. So it's a set of data that is stored basically in tables. Yeah, we'll just use the word tables, and so it's not just stored in tables. It should also be able to be queried. That is, you should be able to query the data. You should be able to, try to request. I think I gave a simple example of what a query looks like in the last example. So basically, you're requesting from there's for instance now there's Google there, and you're trying to, oh, from what you have, from all the things that you know, can you give me something? So basically, you are querying it, and this can be done through SQL. That's through a structured query language, because of course it's a structured collection of data. So there are other forms that are not structured, and if it is not structured, then it cannot be queried with SQL. Let's pay attention to that. So if it's not structured, it cannot be queried. Of course, there are other forms of SQL. There's SQL, there's SQLite. Yes, that's a database. But just pay attention. Let's just stick with unstructured data cannot be structured with SQL, right? Then is it here? Okay, don't have it here. Yeah, table. So what's a table? Anybody? Real quick. These are things, very simple. So who wants to help us with what the table is? In fact, let me write everything down so can start thinking about it. How do you want to answer? Column, row. Okay, I think we did this last class. So I'm waiting for who wants to help us with table. What am I calling? Tito. Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. So you have been nominated to help us with what a table or what you understand by basically what you understand is just what you understand. Doesn't have to be correct.
It's ordinary table or
Please, we are in a skill class. Of course, don't worry. Just let us know.
okay. It's a collection of related data held in a table format within a database.
Okay. That was. I think I'm going to steal that. I'm not buying it. Yeah, that's actually correct. So that's what. In fact, I'm saying no more about it. He has given us the definition of what it really is. Then, so having known what a table is, right? You understand that this table are stored inside the database, and so I'm just giving a clue. So then, what then is a row? What do we understand by a row? Do you want to nominate somebody? Ah, okay. I think Kingsley. What is a row? What do you understand by a row?
It's the is it vertical or horizontal arrangement of data within a table, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So a row basically is just a single, or it can be multiple, depends. But when you say row, it just refers to a single, call it a single data, Did I use the word data? Yeah, let's use data. So it's a single data, a single, yeah. So when you look at this now, here we have these are rows. This is book, sorry. So this is this row, then this is another row, then this is another row. So these are rows. So basically it's just the horizontal here. Yes, you can use that word. So it's going to be horizontal. Well, since it's a table is structured to have the, what do I call it? The it has to it's structured in a way to have columns, right, and rows. So you have columns vertically and you have your rows horizontally. And what is embedded in your rows are just data. Then what you have in your columns are basically a specific type of data, right? So you can have, so if you look at this over here, we have bookie, we have date. So bookie here is a string type of data. So if you have to call, okay, from here we define the column name, which is first name and date attended. So first name is a column, and that means all the data that is going to be in that column is going to be first name. And we understand that first name is basically a string, right? Then date attended is another column, which means synchronized date. So the type of data that we expect to find in date attended is supposed to be date. So that says something that when you have you have a particular column, it is limited. Should I say limited or assigned a particular data type? So I can't have first name and have bookie and have number and have date in that same column. Well, depending, but I can't have strings and have date time, or string and have I could, it could be in a way, maybe, for instance, if it's an ID, for instance, yeah, ID that's for instance, when you're working with unique ID or something complex, where you have combinations of numbers and alphabets, basically when they standard that. And I think, yeah, I think it's called, you can use this variable character. Normally it's alphanumeric. I can't remember the data type. I think variable character. No, this is variable character. No, it's alphanumeric. So I can't remember. But I think it's UUID. Yes, that wants to generate a unique universal ID. So basically, the goal of, or when you're talking about columns, right? Summarize it. You can only have one data type inside it, inside that particular column. That's the peculiarity of a column. And when you are dealing with rows, so the rows is now going to be like a single line, a single particular a data point. Let me just use that word. Yeah. So a data point. If I'm looking at this is a row. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. So and so on to the end. So here are okay. I've talked about colon without knowing. So that means I'll have to skip to primary key. So who is this falling on? Uh So once, does anybody remembers what a primary key is? Anybody? A primary key. Okay. Okay, Pearl.
Good evening.
Hi. Good evening.
I don't have a definition, but like I have my own definition.
It's still a definition.
Like no, it's not like a full definition. It's just something I know about like a little bit.
Okay, we are all ears.
I know that primary key contains unique values and does not contain null values. So that's just what I know.
Okay, that's like a summary of it. Yes, that's correct. So a primary
Yeah.
key contains. Thank you, by the way. So a primary key contains unique values. Does it contain a null value? Just as so the fact that it contains unique value, it is used to identify, or it is used like an identifier for that row. So you use it in identifying a row. So here you can see we have first name, date attended, bookie, da 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 da. This is first name. There's two bookie in this. Is it two? Yeah, there's two bookie. And well, if you have a primary key would assign a separate sorry, it will assign a separate ID to each. You can see they even have the same date, but it's going to assign a different ID to them because it has to be unique, and it is used to identify. So that's the key there. It is used to identify each row, right? It's used to make it unique. Basically, that's what a primary key does, right? And so there are some other advantages, for instance, data integrity, querying efficiently. But yeah, that's what we know. Then foreign key. So a foreign key. No, sorry. What's a foreign key? That was close. What's the help was a foreign key? Ayobami. Okay. That just go ahead. I assume nobody's answering. Somebody to try now, like Pearl. Like Pearl did. Okay. Well, since time is not on our side, um, I'll get straight right into it. So a foreign key basically is just a field, or should I say a column, in a table that refers to the primary key of another table. I don't know if that's clear. So a foreign key basically it's a field, a column in one particular table that is a primary key in another table. I think the perfect example for that is if you look at let's look at Nigeria and USA. Buhari is in USA. Buhari is a president, right? President of Nigeria. And in USA, Trump is it Trump? Being sorry, I can't remember. Biden, yeah. Biden is the president of USA, right? So Biden is a primary key. Buhari is a foreign key. Oh, sorry, our president is Tinubu. Ah, ah. Tinubu is a foreign key, right? So how is he a foreign key? Because it's also a primary key in another place. So basically, that's the definition, but that's the how best I can actually explain to let you know about what a primary key is or and a foreign key. So when you're working with multiple tables, right, which we are going to see in about a few minutes, you find out that there are foreign keys and there are primary keys. So it's just like you are alternating them, right? So that's basically it. So any questions before we continue?
Please, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so when I created a table, and one of the columns is the serial number,
Okay.
and I used data type, data type serial primary key, the way you cited it in the example you.
Yeah.
Okay. So though I was able to create the table, but by the time I called up the table using the select command, when it came up, the serial number column was null. Everything was null instead of the serial numbers.
Oh, but okay, you had values in the rest of the other columns,
Yes.
but there was nothing in the serial column where you declared
Yes,
serial.
null. I just had null, null, null.
Okay. Did you try using probably maybe you try to recreate it and use not null? Did we do? Yeah, I
No,
think
I didn't use not no.
maybe we could have. I think we tried that in the last class where I actually put not for the rest. That was actually not even the serial. Or you could have tried that and see maybe it will do the same or maybe have errors. But actually, it's not supposed to It's not supposed to do that. We will check it. Yeah, but by the way, it's not actually supposed to do that. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be incrementing, like
The yes,
probably
I
yeah
know.
one like we did in the class. You saw it, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, maybe we just debug and try to see. Okay, maybe there's another thing. That's a way of debugging our code. So I've not suggested it hot to us yet because it's quite addictive. It's tricky if you're not good with like the language or to some extent and you're using it and you're getting errors, you can get more frustrated. You can increase your frustration. So I'll just mention it now, just to go right to skip it. So the tool is actually using is about using AI, right, to correct our codes, debug our codes, write codes, and basically. But I want us to have the foundation of SQL properly before we actually use that, incorporate it into uh into what we use, the things that we use. But personally, I use it a lot because it's like my best buddy right now. So I use it for adjusting if there's bugs in my code is not running. All I need to just take it, probably not take it every time. I'll try to look at it. If I can't find it, then I'll pick it and drop it there. So it takes discipline to do that, to not just take immediately and put there. If you are doing that all the time, it makes you lazy, right? But if you are taking your time to look at it, so you are trying to get it, you can't find it after so many trials, then you can just take it and put it there. Then it comes out, tells you, oh, this, that. And sometimes it's might not even be correct, right? Because one thing I want us to know is AI is not 100% perfect. So not everything that AI says is true. Not everything that it produces is precise. Not everything. It has errors. It has rooms for errors, basically. So yeah, so that's just by the way. So so there are three things, or should I say four things as this query. So these are the things I'll probably be working with. So let's go straight into this class. I'm sharing my screen. Yes. So okay. First of all, I want us to can probably share my whole screen now, right? Let me just share my whole screen. Stop sharing entire screen. Alright, so here is my entire screen. So I'm just going to open, first of all, just open this down. Let's go. So yes, what I want us to do is do something different. So just go to cargo and pick a a data set that is in SQL. Open it, then explore it. While exploring, then we can use some functions and learn a bit, learn one or two things basically. So okay, here let me just confirm that my screen is still being shared. Okay, yeah. All right, so data sets. I think it's because I'm still working in here. So here's my data sets. So I want data sets in SQL, right? So I'm just going to put SQL into this place and did that work? SQL injection, SQLite. Maybe I should try it again. Let me see. This is 2 MB. So how do I confirm? So I can just see this. This is showing CSV. That means that flitter did not work. Okay, what's going on? view results for SQL. Okay, yeah. So this is, I don't know if many people can see my screen, but if you look up here, I just saw it now. This is search question mark. This Q means query equals to SQL. So it's actually querying everything in this place for things that are relating to SQL basically. So that's just an example with a query. So let me see. No, sorry, I'm looking for a data set. I probably did not select well. I'm supposed to click here, data sets, then wait for this to load, then come to flitter, right? Yeah, so it's inside this flitter that I'll put SQL. So it will give me everything that's attached to SQL and apply. So this is a way to get database basically. So we have Instagram analysis, we have Postgres. What should we do? Should we check this? This is 14 MB. Just two files. It's gonna be large. Actually, if you see MB and it's very large, then uh, what one should we pick? Mental health, SQLites. Where are the SQL files? SQL murder mystery data. We don't want to work with things that relate to murder. No, that's too much. Oh, look at this, 5 gig. Obviously, it's much. Retail store database. Okay, this sounds good. Sounds innocent. So yeah, it's loading, and so here we go. Oh, it's in SQLite. So there are SQLite database. SQLite database will not get imported into. I don't think it will. It won't get imported into SQL itself. Though I found one that was it's a market. Let me see. I found one that was trying to use. Where is it? Was it this? See? Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so let's just take this. This COVID-19 is large. It's going to take time. Should we try this, guys? Guys. Oh, this is larger than I thought. Let's just go and use the sample database. Though I saw one, was it housing price? I think it was housing. Nobody's saying anything.
I thought I saw like what was it called? This 227 kilobytes. This Netflix data. I think we should work with that.
Oh, okay. Netflix, 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 Netflix. I think I saw
It's
it.
up. Yeah. So the size is quite small. So
Oh. Uh, thought I clicked it. Download. So I guess I'll just download it straight up, and so here's the download. Oh, where is it? Yeah, downloads 277 kilobytes. Um, okay, it's very small. So just bring me here and ink highjump, put it here. Yeah, this. So I have it here. So let me extract it. So yes, so the file I sent to the group, right? This is it. I just opened it. Can you see it's not empty? Don't know if it's clear. Can't zoom in. Oh, wait, sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Wow, something is wrong. My software. Oh my God, how do I do this? It's not going to capture my full screen. Um, okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to come back to the screen. So it's going to be recording that instead. Oh, so as we're scavenging for sites, it wasn't there. I don't know how this is going to work, but I hope it works successfully. Let me just let me set up a backup. The software I was using wasn't working. Or it was working just because I changed the configuration. So I hope this works. Just use my phone just in case. So here is the file that I used last week. It's actually not empty, so it depends on what you used to open it. I'm currently using a note, just a text editor to open this, like a normal text editor. You can use open with as so you open with the text editor. I'm sure it's going to open up. So you can just copy and paste what you have inside. So I'm just going to close this and sorry, I don't want this. I really don't like this thing showing on my screen. So here is the file I just downloaded. I'll just move that to trash, then extract it. So here is the file. It's actually a CSV file. Actually, it can be imported. So here's the MySQL workbench, and here is what we worked with last time. Restore workspace. Can't find that SQL. What do I do? What do I do? Ignore. Should I ignore it? Yes. Okay, so this was what we did last week. So where should we import it to? I think I have two tables here. Let me see. Yeah, let's use ijan. So I'm just going to import it into this place. Right, so table data import wizards that we did last week. Then the file path. So I'm just going to go to where it is on my system basically. I have it here, I have it here, here. So next, so create a new table, call it Netflix, don't add one to it. Put it in this, no, just, yeah, put it in this database, call it Netflix table. Then next, so here it is, so we can see all the things that are in it. Oh, did I just change that? Yes, I did. Just with text. These are all with everything that I need. Then next and next. So this data truncated. Okay, so I have row import data. So these are errors for row one. What is going on? Data truncated. So just going to cancel this. Sorry. Yes. So I'm just this would have created it actually very fresh. I'm going to see it down here. And of course it's going to be empty. If I try to do this and select, oh, it's not empty actually. Some things were imported into it. So I'm just going to re-import, and to do that, I'm going to do table data import wizards. Now pay attention. I'm still taking it to the same. I'm using the same file path, but now I'm using existing table, right? Then I'll choose this truncate data, truncate the table before import. So what this is going to do is it's going to clear it. So then next, so I don't know, probably it was what I did. I can't remember the error. Oh my god, I didn't pay attention to it. Okay, so let's try it again. Next, and show logs, and next. Okay, so row import field with error. Data truncated for column title at row 1. Data truncated for column title. Okay, should I wait for it to finish? Okay, I can still query outside of this. I think I can minimize it and still query this. Okay, I think the files are coming in, but it's running into an issue. So let me see. I have 5. I think it's working. Yes. So basically, while that is running, let's just come here. So it's selecting all from, so this query part. I think I should be able to reduce this. Yeah. So this selects all. So we have actually wanted to get a complete SQL database. I think I saw one actually. So that actually has data, it has different tables in it. So all you need to do is just import the old database. So when you import it, it has tables, it has several tables, and you're going to see the schema. I think here, I want to see the schema. I should be able to see it from here, on the side here. Right, yeah, so I'm just using the up and down arrow. Can't see some things on my screen, but I'm sure you guys will be able to see it. So okay, I can see this. So here's the schema. So you can see this is what defines it. You can see the what thing can we pick from here that's very important. The show ID, the text, these are the types of the data. Then you can see the character sizes that have been set, which is large. You might not exhaust it. So okay, so I'm just trying it. Okay, I can't see what is here. So here is this. So I can count everything here. So that's select all. So instead we just do count, and let's pay attention to this. I personally don't like this. I prefer to use this. So select count all. Yeah, so we are familiar with this, right? So it's going to count everything in it, and it's saying 13. Looks like everything is not coming in again. Just do this. So I think just 13 that came in. That's not what we wanted. So you had issues with column title, the title at row 1. Only 13. Finish title, this title that I don't know of. Let's just see. Let's go back to cargo. I think we have some things there, some examples there. Or we could use this. Yeah, there's this material also. Someone unmuted now.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should download another data set.
Okay. There's even one I saw, I just remembered. So here it's actually using, creating the database from the scratch, and I think he has some insert values, though it's not much, but we can do something with this. This works with just, trying to understand everything. So this example, creating a company database, basically for a company. I think we do haven't seen that. I just saw this. We can use this, create some things, create multiple tables and connect them together and see how they are connected. Though I don't know why I can't find something very nice. Why, why, later, let me try again. Probably if I see the one, sorry, the one I saw SQL and just bring everything relating to SQL. Instagram analysis. Wait, where did I open this? This sample database. Let me see. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yes. 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 Good. This is like a database, a complete database. So you can. It's actually a lot. I hope you are not a problem. Okay, we just go through it and I think we'll be fine. We will need that much. So these are. This is. Okay. This, let's just see it as a schema or a database, a DB diagram. This tells us how those the different databases are connected. This moves like a schema, right? So this is a what's database? It's a DVD rental database. Wow, DVD. I think I've gone past that head of rental. So this is a DVD rental database, right? That has a category table. So these are all table. Everything you are seeing here is the table. So how do you identify? So how do you identify or how do you label this? So the what you have here on the upper, sorry, um, that's gone already. Okay. So what you have up here is category. So that's the table name, right? Uh, what you have inside category ID, name, last update um is actually the columns that are inside, right? Then where you have star, you can see you have almost everything is labeled with a star. That signifies that it's a primary key. So that's the primary key. And if you notice, there's something unique about those primary keys. They are more like IDs, payment ID, film ID, address ID, city ID, staff ID, language ID. So basically, they are more tuned towards. Okay, so they are more of like IDs. Then we also have you can see there's a connector. These connectors actually they mean one or two things, but let's just look at them. So you can see everything is connected one way or the other, right? You can see they are all connected from one source to the other. So now let's look at it this way. So if you start from film ID, right, you see that the film ID is connected to this film category. So what do you think is connecting this film ID with this film? This film category is film. What do you think is connecting it? What's the connector? Anybody?
Can I?
Yeah, sure, you can.
Yeah, for the film ID and film ID, the first one for the film ID is the primary key, while the film ID for the film is the foreign key. So I think these are the two that connect it, have a relationship between the two, and then which they have a yeah they have relationship. So that is why they are connected.
Yeah, thank you. That's correct actually. So what's connecting these two is the film ID. You have the film ID here and you have the film ID here also. So that's the connector. So basically there's something connecting one table with another table. You need to make that connection. You cannot have, if you have a table that is not connected, then that table is just useless. It's not doing any, it's basically irrelevant because you should be able to link all your tables together, basically. So if you look at this two now, it's the film category is a category. So this what links these two is the category ID here, the category ID here. So the category ID here is what is linking these two together. So they are going to have the same category ID. Um, you probably see how that is relevant, how why we need to connect tables. I really think, well, if I should go into that, the reason why you need to connect tables together basically is to get more information. For instance, I have my film data here, and somehow we've been doing rentals, or the only things I have here are this. So I need to connect to other places like this category now to tell me the categories of these films. See this one here. So this is the name, the last updates probably think means something. Then here we have the inventory. So I think inventory is like the store, like what you have inside and all of that. You have rentals, you have payments, so you have staffs. Your staff is connected to your rental. So I think like who rents these stores. Then you have actors. Actors should be connected to, you see, film actor. Film actor should be connected to film in a way. Yeah. Can say it's connected with the film ID. Then your staff is connected to your store in a way, right? There's a link. Then we also have the addresses of your staff. You know, they are detailed separately in another data. You have the city, country to know where they are. You store that separately. So you can have all of this in one table. It will be so clumsy. You can't imagine having all of it. Will be, and not just that, it will be in a way irrelevant. Now imagine I'm just see me as the salesperson or the sales manager. I don't think I'm interested in everything here. The only thing I'll be interested is in the theme, the payments, what was rented, and the inventory. Basically, okay, maybe I want to check my customers, then the category. Oh, yes, I want to know that, but I don't think I'll be interested in my staff address or city or country. Should I be? Or should I be interested in the film actor? I think the more people that will be interested in that will be more of like the promotion guys, promotion the marketers, right? They'll be interested with the film actor, the film actors. They won't be interested in the staff. They don't know anything about the staff. I don't think they know anything about the language. Or yes, they can use that. So like that's the purpose of having all these tables broken down into separate segments, separate, having them separate, like in separate compartments, right? So that different people with different needs can come to it and pick just what they want. So it won't be like everybody has to go through the stress of going through everything. That would be too stressful. So that's the idea behind having to use to split your data into tables and section. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and download see and download this. This also has a Docker. Oh my god, okay. So let me download this. So this is also not coming here. Don't like that showing. So I'm just going to rename this a bit. Uh, to PG to a sample. Just a sample. I don't want that showing. Yes, so back to this page. So that should have downloaded. So also you also have instruction. I think all this it's actually created by someone. So sometimes the person is always so generous to include uh, instruction. So this was on Postgres, but I mentioned that we could use it, doesn't matter. So yes, I think this, let me see, alter create type MMA, let me see. If it has everything, maybe we could just copy and run it. You know, we don't have to understand everything that's actually going on here. So let me see. I think we can. But this is a lot. This is a whole lot, a whole lot. But should we try it? Should we not? We just go and use our table JJ. Let me see. Um. Um. This is a lot. Might not be easy to take in as a chunk, but the point is we actually understand this. Basically, you understand this table, how they are connected, and you can see the connection from here to here to here to here. I think I'll prefer we create our own. So we just use this. Let's just do something very small that has a small, not that's going to be too complex. So I'm going to open my Postgres. Yes, so I'm going to create a new database. We are going to call it um, create schema. So what should we call it? Let's call it I'm going to name this what should I name this? ijan sorry class company. So we have a company. So next apply this and yes, apply and close. So here it is. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, so we have a company and this is it. So we are going to be creating a table. We are just going to be copying this and making a bit of adjustment into it because it's not entirely the same thing. So we are making a table employee inside this, so we have to add this ijan class company in front of it. I don't know if you remembered ijan class company dot employee. So inside this database create this table. So this is a table, this is the database name, this is the schema name, this is the table. So if you look at this, what's it doing? It's creating an employee ID, is assigning integers to it, that's numbers, and it's giving it the primary key. Then first name, last name, birthday, sex as male or female. So this saying variable character one, it means that's just going to be a single character. Then we have salary, super ID, branch ID. So these are going to be connected. You can see they have IDs to it. So this ID simply means that it's a way of saying that, oh, this is actually going to be connected to other things. So you could easily say that this branch ID is a foreign key. Do we remember? Right? So a branch ID is a foreign key. The super ID is also a foreign key. So I'm going to create this now. And yep, so if you check this and you refresh all, close this. Yes, you can see we now have employee. So if you observe it and you check, I think you can use describe. Describe. Just going to copy this and paste here and run this. So you can see it. So you can see everything is here. Not null. Yes, the primary key is not supposed to be null actually, which is why I'm surprised Tito had that error. So you can see key, primary key, and the rest are just there according to how we created it. Then take this off. I'm done with. Yeah, so don't want to have this. Just do this. Yes, I want space. Okay, so what's next? So it creates another table, right? So we are creating multiple tables. The first one. So we are creating another table and bring it here. So ijan, so just copy this, it's easier that way. So we are creating another table called branch in this. So from the word branch, it's supposed to contain the branch details. Let's say it's a bank, right? Or have so many branches. So branch ID, the branch name. Now this is MGR, thing signifies manager, manager that is managing this branch. So there's an ID to it. That means it's linked to another table. Then it has the start date of the manager. Now, if you observe this part, this last part, right, it means that it says foreign key, manager ID, reference employee to employee ID. So what this means now is saying that this manager ID, right, is a foreign key. Now it is linked, we are linking it in a way to this employee data and we are linking it to this employee table and we are linking it on the employee ID. So the manager ID is connected to the employee ID because it makes sense that the manager is an employee of that company. Does anybody have any question about, like, do you understand that? Do you understood? Are we following? I can't see any response.
Yeah, we're following.
Okay. Okay, please. You are lost. Please drop me back. You have to drag me back. I don't want to. They've told me that I usually overshoot sometimes. So this is okay, yeah. So I think we have done this primary key and you run
Okay.
this. Okay.
Hello. Sorry.
Alright.
This manager ID is the foreign key connected to the
Employee.
primary key in the initial stop. Now you don't need to quote the database, just the table, which is employee here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't quote database, right? It's this is, you see this create table has covered everything, but normally I think I should quote it just for uh to avoid errors, right? Just to make sure that there's no error. So I think it's best if I quote it since it's going to want to pick a lot of things. Oh, let me see. It's no harm in trying. So if I do this, is this supposed to be error? Okay, I'm not getting any error. So let's confirm. How do we know? We just go and describe, right? We just describe this table. And I have this. Run this. I don't want this. No, no, I don't want this actually. Okay, yeah. So run it again. Yes. So think yes. So I think I'm having, yeah, yes. So am I supposed to have this key? Um, I'm not sure it worked. So let me try this. Let's just try this and put it here. Then what I'm going to do is I'll just drop the table. Let me drop the table I just created. That's the branch table. So I refresh all. I don't like this opening. So let me just drop this real quick. I think I can drop this. These are shortcuts. There are ways to drop it. Then create this again. Run this again. And it's the same thing. I think it works. Yeah. So let's continue. So we've created the branch ID. We've created the branch table. So we have two tables here, right? We've not inserted any table, don't worry, we'll get there. Sorry, where's it? Refresh. So we have branch now and we have employee. So now let's look at that function. So we just get to work with. So basically, what we are actually doing, we are working with a certain type of SQL queries, right? So we are just, everything this query is doing, or everything this function is doing, create, table, describe, what else, alter. Basically those keywords are, they belong to a particular set and we are basically just using it to create table. Basically we're just creating table, we're not doing much, we're not querying, we're not controlling things. There are different sections of that. So basically, we are just creating things. For instance, now this alter means that we want to make a change. I mentioned earlier that this is English like basically. So alter here means that we only want to make a change. We want to alter this table, that's the employee table. We want to alter it, right? And you can see it's even giving me autocomplete, but it's still ready. Think tab, yeah. So we want to add a foreign key branch ID. If you come here, there's already a branch ID here. But what we are doing, we are not just adding a foreign key. We want to reference it, connect it to branch, so that this branch ID is connected to this branch ID. Basically, that's what we want to do. So that's why we are saying, okay, add foreign key branch ID reference to branch. So that's this same database dot branch and connect it to branch ID. Now on delete set node, so it's going to um just delete it, right? On delete it will set it to empty. So basically on delete set it to null. So that I've been mentioned, these are just English like. So just going to run this. Of course, you might not see effect of it running this, but let's just move on. I think we can speed up a bit. So the rest are basically more like the same thing. So here is also doing the same thing. Sorry. Um, okay. So that's double click anyways. I double click on it and it select everything. Oh, what these are connected. If I was using space, it won't do that. But because they are in a way connected together, so if I just double click this, for instance, if I double click, only foreign will be selected. That's another advantage of connecting your words with underscore. So if you click on this, they are all connected together anyway, so it picks it together and it's still easier to read anyways. So we are altering the table employee, right? We are adding a foreign key, that's super ID, of course, there, and we are referencing it to the employee ID. Anyways, we are going to connect it anyways to something else. So let's run this. I'm not sure. Then create table. So this is under create table. They are creating a table client. So I'm guessing it's a company that has branches. They have clients. More of like I mentioned bank. Let's take Zenith Bank. I like Zenith Bank a lot. So Zenith Bank has different branches, right? They have a employee table, they have a branch table, they have a client table for all their customers, and yes, so you think, yeah, nothing new, we are doing the same thing. So if you come here now, you see we are expanding our tables already basically. I don't want to refresh everything. Do I have to? Am I compelled? Yes, I'm compelled to. So here we have tables. Okay, I thought I created tables branch employee. Have I not run this? Okay. Oh, sorry. It's got into an error. Sorry. Control C. So we didn't know what I was calling in particular. So I'm calling the clients. So I want to create a table called clients. Why is it colored? Client ID. Then foreign key. Think I've been using it that way and that's been working. Okay. Branch. Yes. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, I think it's giving an error. Or is it successful? Okay, yeah, it's successful. Yeah, so if I check back again, so it must have created it. Yes, so I have it now. Branch clients. I think we should try to now reference it. So create table works with this is a lot. Okay, we're almost done. So let me just copy everything here. Then I'll use the other function we have. So this create table works with. So wants to create another table. So many tables. So here, so we are creating this table. IJAN class works with client ID. So here, the primary key is 2 is this. Then the foreign key here reference employee dots. Now I want us to pay attention to this primary key is saying this calling is assigning 2 columns the primary key. I'm going to explain that in a bit. Let me complete this. Now it's assigning double columns to primary key. Now the reason for this is the table works with cannot just take only client ID. He has to, yeah, it's like a conjunction table that okay, this employee works with this client ID. So you can't have a client ID standing alone or have an employee ID standing alone. They have to be connected anyway. So that's the reason why these are connected. Like so when you are going to be using them, this is going to be connected. Is I don't know if that's clear. Like I don't know if you are getting the logic behind it. Does anyone here have any question while we proceed? I just make the changes to this. Let's copy this all and I'll use this. So using this, we just because I selected everything, the part I want to select, I selected is the part that we run. So that part has run, and I think now we have a lot here. We have how many tables? I think we have 4 or 5 tables. So we are now going to go ahead to input values into them. So let me just yeah, stop at here. So the rest we just copy it. I think we're almost done with this. Yeah, so let me start from here. So yeah, so he's inserting into employee. Forget this, very important, because the system has to understand where we're taking it to employee. Sorry, hold on. Let me confirm that tables have been created. Branch supplier. Yeah, so now he's inserting into this. I think if I'm to format this, put it here. Insert into this table values, insert these values, right? 100 David Wallace. So if you remember when we were creating it, so sometimes you don't necessarily have to identify, call the columns again. For instance, if you look at the way we did it the last class here, where we had to call, okay, since we have first name and date attended, we had to call first name and date attended. Now in this situation, there was an additional column. The first column here was student ID, which was onto incrementing on its own. So we have to actually identify where we want to put it, because if you don't put this, it will see this as student ID first name, then maybe date attended is missing. It won't automatically know. So here you are mapping this uh, you are mapping the values here to the first column that you declared into this place, and you are mapping what you have here to dates attended. But if you look at this, it's not the same thing. Here we have values. We don't have to necessarily map it, because they are all in the same. This is ID, this is the first name, this is the last name, this is the date, is it date of birth, this is the I think we called it gender. Is it gender? Sex. Yeah. and we have salary, and we have null. That's for the rest of the data. So you insert it into values, then if you run this, we are just going to look at it little by little. So now let's go and check if our employee data has been populated. So no, let me just write it here. So select all from here. So I'm selecting all, so I'm running this, and you can see 100 David's first name. You can see that the values have been populated into it. So go ahead to do the branch, set into branch, insert into branch dot branch. Yes, the values, so these values, you insert it into branch, you run this, then I think you can use this format to check, just correct, and here we'll call branch branch. Sorry, with this, yeah, thank you for that correction. And yeah, so branch, so it's working, so we can move faster now, I guess. Sorry, how did I close this again? Yeah, so then update ID, so we are updating the employee, so we are using the updates, right? We want to update something, so we set, sorry, we, this is very important, can't be overemphasized. So we want to update a particular part, that's why you're using update. Insert means it's not existing, you just want to insert a new field, or a new data. Update means that, oh, the data is existing, but you want to update a particular part of data of that row. So here it's saying set the branch ID to 1 where employee ID is 100. Now let's go back to employee. If I call this, now you can see the employee data, you have hundreds, you have all of this, right? Now super ID and branch ID is empty. This we want to update now, so we want to update the branch ID, so we are saying update IJAN class company database employee table, set the branch ID to 1. Now this branch ID to 1. Now imagine we have a lot of data here, so this is just a filter to say, okay, where employee ID is 100, so that means to pick this and it will change the value there. And if you run this, now we've run that already, and let's go back to run the first one, and you run this, you see that it's now 1. So that's the update. So update is used to update something that is already there. There's a data there already, you need to update it, while insert is used to insert a new field, an entire new field, right? So here this part, we're inserting into the employee, so we're inserting something else. Now pay attention to this time around, this is the employee ID, the first name, the last name, the date, the date of birth, sex, the salary. Now this is having a super ID and a branch ID, so this is more of like a complete data, so it means they're in the same branch basically. So if you check it, that means these two, the two, David and Jan, are in the same branch, they belong to the same branch. So basically that's what that part means. Then this sound pattern, don't know why this person used this, but nevertheless, so we are just going to go ahead and make the little changes that we were making. I said it earlier, we have to make these changes, then run, then into branch, sorry, So we are populating the branch also. Oh, okay, I think I see while he used referencing while that was used there. Sorry, values. Run this. Yes, so we have two branch now. If you check, if I call this, you see that we have two branches now. We have corporate, we have Sankranton. The manager here is hundreds. The side is hundreds. For the manager for Sankranton is 102. Now, if you go and check the employee, you want to know who is 102, who is 100, right? You can see 100 here is David, 102 here is Michael. But sometimes to do instead of doing this, we just want to uh filter for everything. Maybe just filter for the branch managers, right? So if you want to do that, we can do something simple. Wait, let me see. So where did I stop? Okay, I remember. I think we have inserted Michael's courts. Have we insert this company branch? Insert the company branch. Yes. Okay, we've not done this where we update the branch ID. So let's update this first before we check. So this one is the what this command is running. It's simply just setting the branch ID to 2 where this employee. So we want to can see here Michael Scott does not have a branch. His branch has not been his ID has not been assigned. So this we assign it. Now it has been assigned. Now let's do a bit of query. Now we want to check for we want to check in the employee data where the they are all branch managers, right? They are managers, they are ID. So when we check, so first of all, you can just select or just have an overview of what you want to do from ijan underscore class underscore company dot sorry employee. Close this. So we are selecting all, right? Just that. It's giving us everything. So we want now if you look at this, it shows that the branch IDs they belong to different branch, but it doesn't tell us if they are managers, yes or no. Doesn't really tell us that. So what we are going to do instead, since we have not joined the table together, we have not gotten there yet. So we're just going to give us the employee ID, these two employee IDs, right? So it's going to be select from where um, where employee ID as EMPID equals what 100, and so you can use this. I think we should just use this and employee ID equals 102. Yep, and run this. Okay, what's going on? That is double. I run like Python and doesn't work. Okay, I'm getting an error. So let me just undo this. Select from this employee. Let me just put P E and do P dot E dot this. Then see my C getting null. Okay, let me just take this part out. He's giving me for where EMPID and oh yes, it's correct. where EMPID is and E. Okay, so I think I mentioned this in the last class. What I'm doing is what I used here is just an alias for all of this. So instead of having to, so I can refer to this. So when I have multiple tables, I can just call this, put this as an alias, and do e dot id. So let me just show you what comes out. So in case I do just e dot, I should get the completion. Not coming out. How do I trigger this? Okay, what's coming out? Don't know. Might try anyway. But nevertheless, I could use that to pull. Oh. So I think what's happening is it's trying to assign the two together. So that's why it's not coming out. So what if I use all here? Or is equals to 102. Yeah, so this works. So I think it's trying to assign both of them together. That's why it's not working. So it's giving the employee ID 100 and at the same time trying to give it 102. So yes, so let's continue. I just wanted to view this. Of course, we have not joined it together yet. So you can see the branch is just unique. So you have one, you have two. But there's nothing that tells us that, oh, it's a manager, it's not a manager, you know. So let's just insert, let's populate the employee data. Employee, which was a short, but now it's coming out. It's not. Yeah, so we are just doing the same thing. We are improving this, uh, inserting data into it. I like to insert speed, so I'll just select everything here and use this. It has been populated. So I think this Stanford, let me see, this is another branch. So I think should we run it? Okay, so what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to run everything together. So just to save time. I think time is fast spent. So this is just creating another branch. Is inserting um the the clients, the employees at this company, at this particular branch, that's Stanford. So here we have Stanford. Yes, the employee updates employee dot set branch ID for this, where this is this, then insert into this, yes, and insert into this. Yeah, so we have everything ready. Leave. So let me just run everything in Stanford together. So it has been created and updated. So let's go back to, let me see, do we still have anything we are inserting into? Insert. This is just populating the rest of the table. Should we populate it? Okay, let's just, should we? Okay, let me just do it once and for all. That's just to have everything connected basically. So we know that everything in this database is connected. So I'm just going to make changes real quick. So this, we have populated all the columns, we have merged them together, we have connected it together. English should do. Sorry. Yeah, so where again? Okay, yeah. Sorry, let me check. Can I select? No, I cannot. No, it's not working. As a command I usually use. Thought it was going to work. So yeah, so basically I'm just populating these tables. That's all I'm doing. So we can have data and everything. Works with works with works with I think I made a mistake. Yeah, okay, I think we're almost done. Yeah, and we are done with populating this table. So let me run accept it and load it into the data. Yeah, so we are done loading everything. So we can now check, run our queries, try to observe what we have, where we have, see how they are connected, what we have declared the relationship between them. So here, we said this is the employee. This is like the main, should I call it the main table? Yes. So this is like the main table. Yes. Then we have the branch, of course. So the branch ID, it has the branch ID, it has the branch name, it has a manager, which is connected in a way to the employee table, right? So then we also have the other tables that we create. We created the client table. So the client table, they have an affiliate and they are connected to the branch. So the branch, the client, I'm using a bank, probably opened an account in a particular branch, right? And this connects it to the branch. Then we also created a table works with, right? So the employee ID and the client ID are the primary key. Then the sales. So this employee ID and this client ID, the total sales they have made together, like when you combine them. So that means when this employee was interacting with this particular client, uh this was the amount they made. So it's possible that the client ID interacts with another employee ID. So it's not that, oh, this is my customer, or the employee brought this customer, this client, and that's person is going to be with all the time. No, it's not like that. It's a many to many relationship. Then we have this is where we created the supplier. So we have the branch ID, we have the supplier, and we have the supplier type, and I think we have populated it. So the rest of this is just to populate the table, right? So if you check, select all from works with, let's use that. Oh, don't forget works with dot, works with, and just end this and select. So we are basically getting the gist of it, like basically how it is and how they are connected together. So any questions?
Yeah, I have quite a
Sorry, I can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, loud and clear.
Okay, I have quite a few. They're weird questions too. I don't know. I missed some of the earlier classes.
Okay.
I noticed. I
Okay.
think this is the only class I know I started and ended. With this SQL that Excel cannot do. I feel like
Come again.
importing tables, create. I said I've not seen what it is doing that we cannot do with Excel.
Oh, okay.
Even connecting tables, yeah, connecting tables, connecting information with the right functions and right formula. I feel it can be done. But however, I understand the fact that this creates more avenue for maybe larger databases. Now, the question is this. Now, this is there are many codes that have been imputed on this to create tables and stuff. And I think it is related to, for example, if you've created this data, company information data, it's not every user that will be able to access it in a raw form like this. Maybe an employee wants to access this information. There's a particular website where it is accessed. Is it this string of codes that are used to populate that website for anybody to have access to this information?
Okay.
I don't know if you understand my question.
Okay, so you mean is the database populated in this format? Like,
Mm,
is that what you're saying? For instance, we have a company database now. Are you saying that is this how we populate that particular company database?
yes.
Okay, all right, okay. So, uh, to answer the question, okay, first of all, I think in fact, you have answered why SQL, why we need to use SQL and not Excel in this case. Like, it's easier. Of course, Excel is just click there, click there, click here. So even Excel, you connect. There's a way you can connect it to a database, an actual database. Actually, there are connectors for it. So you connect to database, but Excel does not have the capability to work with a lot of data. It's not designed for that. So why not just use something that is equipped? Of course, Excel can do a lot of things. Actually, a lot, so many things, but they are specialized tools that are meant for some tasks. So when you are using those specialized tools for those particular tasks, it is more optimized and faster. That's the advantage you get. If you need to, of course, Excel, you can use it and you get what you want. But if you're working with something that you want it to stand like a foundation, you don't want to build the foundation of your database of your company that is going to grow or that you want to grow into millions of users and consumers and customers and employees in Excel. No, you don't want that. You want something that is valid, something that is foundation, something that is firm, that is strong. That's one of the advantages of SQL over Excel. Over Excel, yeah. Excel is many things, right? Now, how do we populate those company database basically? What runs basically when a consumer or a particular employee joins a company, there are infrastructures, let me put it that way. There are systems in place. For instance, there's probably be websites. When you create that website, it has, you have to put your name, your username, your password, of course, most of your password, but then you're putting your password, your date of birth, you fill in some details. Now, the website is connected to those database at the back end. I think it was one of the classes, I think the first class at the end that Abdul, I've forgotten his name, sorry. Zia Abdul Salam. He was talking about are we going to be working with database, pulling data, working with back end database. So in a way, the website is connected to a database that when you fill in your details, it populates the database automatically with programming language, right? Now, why do we need this? Of course, if it's doing it automatically, you need to understand it because for you might need to pull data to work with, probably for analysis. If you are going to do that, you won't there's not going to be a portal somewhere. You probably have to work with the a something like this. This is my SQL workbench. Probably have to work with something like this, then connect it. I don't know if you saw when we connected the this. I think I have it here. No, not here. Yeah. So here you create a connection. You create a If you are trying to create a new connection, here you put a connection name. Then here you now put in the address. It's probably connected in a way. They'll give you the backend guys will give you the software. Oh, sorry, the details about this, and you connect it, so you can now work with it from there. So for you as a data analyst, right, you will need to work directly with the database of that company if it's here, unless it's a very small company and all they can do, you can just tell the guy, you can tell the back engineer, hello, I need data, so you export it for you. I'm giving you CSV, or take it to a portal and tell you to download it from there, basically, right? But then if there's data being currently worked on, for instance, in a company that's where you have a lot of users that are currently being signed up, that currently uses the app daily, makes sales daily. By the time you export for you, you are disconnected from that database. So that's another thing again. You're not connected to it. So when you're doing your analysis, by the time you're done your analysis, you're outdated already. There are new informations already. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does to a huge extent. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, do we have any other questions? I thought you had more than one.
Yeah, I think that's it. Most times when we get to see, maybe due to network glitch, we see some websites, you get to see some string of codes like
Yeah.
this at the back end. So
Yeah.
having to see this right now, this is what basically what makes up those. Uh, so understanding this will give an understanding of what takes place there. I understand now. I get it.
Okay. That example you made. I remembered I was not working. I was using my friend's UBA to be precise. I'm sorry to bash them, but those guys are it was UBA and it was my friend that was working. She was trying to withdraw with her app and it worked. No, it wasn't working. I was complaining that she was seeing codes and everything. I was like, okay, let me see. And I was surprised to see code, like actual codes. I was like, oh no, these guys, what have they done? These guys are supposed to be, well, I understand. It's not easy anyways. But when I saw those things, I was like, whoa, I could relate with it. It was so easy. Like this was what was going on. It was exposing them anyways because it's not good for them. Hackers can find a way into their system through that. But because I saw it, I understood I could interpret what was going on, what was the issue, and how all that she needed to do to just complete her own transaction, right? And forget about what's happening. They'll fix it later. But at that point, someone that's not used to it will not be able to actually go ahead and proceed. You just get frustrated and go out of the app, right? That's what I just came to. All right. So any other questions? Sorry to bring UB into this. Sorry for UB users. Any other question? Yes.